Hello everyone, it's my pleasure to welcome two esteemed guests today. I'm joined by Dr. Hardarshdeep, Director TOEFL GRE ETS India, and Mr. Amit Kumar Goyal, Business Head TOEFL GRE ETS India. So welcome gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's a pleasure to have both of you at IRS Group. IRS Group has been one of the pioneering English language training institutes in Kerala, and it's our 11th year of operation.
Okay.
And we have been into TOEFL since our beginning. So for 11 years, we have trained TOEFL. Of course, it used to be the earlier format, and now that you have the new version.
Right.
So as business head, what have you got to offer to our students and candidates?
I think if you ask me, TOEFL is the pioneer when it comes to the English language test. This is the most original and the most relevant test for any student who's planning to pursue higher education outside of India, especially in countries like the US, the UK, Australia, Canada, and it's the most widely accepted test. What we also see is, TOEFL as a test is highly appreciated by the institutes. The students who've taken TOEFL, we believe, have a higher chance of landing their first choice or the second choice of institute. And that really puts TOEFL apart from any other test that is available.
Right. So Dr. Deep, can you tell me how the geopolitical issues are shaping the market? And what's your take for the students?
I think a very relevant question, Milen. There are a lot of developments that are happening across the globe. Day before yesterday, there was a news in the market where Canada was asking some of the universities to look for students beyond India. Australia further strengthening, the policies to get the students in. While it might appear from the outside that the darks are cloudy, but every cloud has a silver lining. And to us, that silver lining is also at this particular point of time a strong association with a country like US. If I take the names of the big four, which is US, Canada, UK and Australia, I'm very happy to put in perspective that US remains as it is, completely unimpacted, welcoming. Even with Trump coming in, one another geopolitical change that has happened, the policies haven't changed, right? Trump in multiple public appearances have quoted that he's all for the fair migration route, which is definitely facilitated through study abroad options. And that's, I think, should give a lot of confidence to the students, those who were earlier looking at going to some other country, to also consider US, considering it to be a very strong economy when it comes to the global play. Talk about Canada and Australia, no matter how much they tighten, the entry point, the reality is Australia will still welcome 270,000 students globally, which will have its own share of Indian students too. So it's not that the doors are completely closed. What we have to understand is that study abroad is a cyclical market. These type of downturns happens every now and then. Somebody says it's a 4-year cycle, a 5-year cycle. I'll not go into that. But it's not the end of the road. The reality is study abroad is still very attractive. It still gives a great opportunity to the students to get to understand new cultures, to understand and expose themselves to new experiences, which they may not get in India. So to me, geopolitical changes are part and parcel of any domain, just like ours. This should not impact the students' overall decision to go and study abroad. They should take it as a part of the flow. Whatever is happening today, all they need to understand is that they are, as of now, going to study abroad. They will be studying for at least a minimum of 1 year to 2 years, and the world changes every day. Right. So it is ever evolving. This should not impact somebody's decision as on today. There is nothing as grave that somebody should put off their dreams to study abroad.
So earlier or even now, we have the perception that TOEFL is primarily for, university education.
Right.
But then there are other realms opening up, right? Can you share some light on that?
So if you look at beyond studies abroad, TOEFL is a test which is accepted for immigration to Australia. And that is, I think the people are still not aware of it. And, this is a task that we are looking at, educating the people who are interested in immigration as well. And also, if you ask my personal view on this, TOEFL has use cases which go beyond immigration and study abroad as well. There are cases within our country where certain prestigious schools, the principals of those schools have encouraged their faculty, the teaching faculty, to prepare for TOEFL, get assessed using the TOEFL, because it sets a benchmark which can help educators too in their personal and professional journey. So, it's a, we have multiple other products, as you know, coming from ETS India. We have the Young series where, students still studying in schools and not looking at study abroad at their current stage of life. It helps them, improve their communication skills. And at ETS, what we firmly believe is that, English is a durable skill, a communication skill, which is not only relevant for study abroad or for immigration, but in your entire life. This is a skill that will stand you apart. As all of us know, there's a lot of talk around artificial intelligence, AI, how it's going to impact multiple jobs. Now, in this kind of an environment, it is very important for each one of us, and especially the students, to invest, in developing their skills, which go beyond, let's say, the technical skills. And in our parlance, we call them the durable skills. And within that, communication is a very important skill that people should work upon. And TOEFL helps them in that journey.
So, as a training institution, something that we focus is on building the skills of the candidates, and especially their language skills, because the language ability is something that they require.
True.
How does TOEFL contribute to that?
Fair enough. See, one thing that every test taker should understand is that there was a time when we were talking about the 4 C's of 21st century, talking about communication, critical thinking, creativity, collaboration. The reality is, no matter whether you are studying in India, whether you are studying outside, whether you are looking for a job, you require communication skills to be at the top of your game, right? What is the happiness in case you have brilliant ideas, but you don't know how to communicate them?
Absolutely.
English is that means that helps you express yourself in a world where your first language may not be their first language. It's a universal language. And that's where IRS comes as a player who works on those core skills of the students. Now, TOEFL assesses as to what level are you when it comes to the proficiency in those skills. For example, an institute like IRS would train you on listening, speaking, reading, writing. All of these skills are actually rated as per the CEFR levels, the Common European Framework. Now, if that is where we have to do that, you have A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2 leveling. That is beginners, intermediate, proficient levels. Who would tell you that you have reached at this proficiency level? What's the way forward? Or is there any scope of further improvement? TOEFL is that leveler, which tells you globally this is the level of your English language proficiency and gives you the correct picture as to what are your areas of improvement and what you get. You'll be surprised to know. If you take a TOEFL test, no other English test does it. We provide you a complete diagnostic as to which place you went wrong, which question you went wrong, what you can do to improve your skills further for zero cost at every student's ETS ID.
Okay.
They can just log in after giving the test once the score is out and they can see what is the further score of improvement, right? No other test gives you that scope. So it is not just, and as what Amit was also rightly quoting a few minutes back, we are not just a gatekeeping exam. We are a high-stake assessment which benchmarks you globally basis your proficiency of language. To also add on, TOEFL does not only help you to get admissions. We are something that you can take for study abroad to work abroad, to live abroad. We are accepted for immigration, like Amit rightly said, Australia.
Yeah.
We are accepted for New Zealand, Ireland. You can even take our test for any kind of visas there. We are also working with Canadian, agencies to see if we can be accepted there too. We are keen to help students no matter what stage of life they are. Looking at studying abroad, working abroad, or settling abroad. TOEFL wants to be that one stand-hold test or the name that the student or any aspirant can bank upon. And the institute and the governments can bank upon for our fairness, reliability, and integrity.
All right.
That's the core that we bring to the market.
Okay. So as business head, of ETS India, promoting TOEFL, like I'm aware that Kerala is not the biggest market for TOEFL.
Yeah.
Of course, there are other regions, which are stronger. So what do you have for the students, who wish to take up TOEFL from Kerala?
Yeah, so I think Kerala is a very important market for ETS in India. It's also, I would say one of the biggest states. And English as a language, Kerala has always been at the forefront compared to some of the other states. Now, this is important. I think the most important thing is awareness that TOEFL is one of the most preferred tests that are there.
Right.
And how we want to help students in that journey is to provide them with test prep material, so that before they look at taking the assessment, they have enough content with them, so that they can prepare for it. We are also been investing in the training ecosystem. Like, on one hand, there is content, and on the other hand, we are investing in trainers, building that community, so that students who are looking at TOEFL have mentors available in the state whom they can reach out to, for classes and preparation.
Sure. And that's where we come in, you're full-fledged and pretty equipped to help our candidates prepare.
And like partners like IRS, I think, have a very important role, not only from ETS point of view, but also from the student point of view. Because whatever we want to do, we want to build that trust, keeping the student at the center of everything that we do. So, we want to be fair to the student in whatever way we can. And IRS are our, people who manage the student through counseling and give them the right direction. So we are looking at, those initiatives, especially also, as the smaller towns like Tier 2, and Kerala is, there's nothing small in Kerala, so it's already very urban. But still, students who are still residing, not let's say in the main cities, if they are interested, then, we would love to have partners like through IRS who can reach out to the students even in, the so-called remote areas of Kerala, so that they don't need to really, travel to main cities. And so it's better that we reach out to the students through the right agent network. And we want to facilitate those agents with the right communication, so that, the message that is delivered to the students is absolutely clear. We also do a lot of online student sessions and master classes where students can directly hear from the ETS master trainers. We are also looking at working with the premier institutes in the state, so that we can reach out to them through the right faculty members there, the placement officers. Students in their third year, fourth year who are interested or evaluating, so we can go and give them our unbiased point of view on, what is the right journey for them. Some of these events are also done in conjunction with some good universities, where the universities also participate, so that there is a direct interaction possible between the university and the student. And ETS is more like a facilitator in that interaction.
Right.
So these are certain measures that we are taking, focusing upon. And in, we are the only test probably which gives the flexibility of a test center. And we are happy to put in more test centers so that there is convenience for the students. But as we know, we are living in a digital era. There are many students who would want to look at the convenience of taking a test at their convenience, at the convenience of their location. So we also have, as you know, a home edition format.
Yes.
With exactly the same test. But we also look at the students' convenience from a standpoint that our tests are much simpler, given that it's only 2 hours now. We as a test are probably the only test now which has a AI and a human proctoring and assessment angle, because we feel that while AI has a role to play, it can't completely replace humans. So we look at a combination there to be as fair to the student, and because end of the day, it's a student and the university which are coming together, and we need to ensure that both are comfortable and trust
fair
the assessment. So we want to be fairness of the test, both for the university and the student, is important in our philosophy.
Right. So we have a plethora of tests in the market. How would you differentiate TOEFL from the rest of the market?
That's, I think, a brilliant question, because many times a test taker is confused as to what do I choose when there are options available to us. My only suggestion, and I will not push the test taker because I am from TOEFL to take a TOEFL test. I'll just leave them with some questions that they should seek an answer for. Ask and research which is the oldest English proficiency test. We have seen 6 decades of these changes.
Quite a long time.
That's quite a long time. We are the oldest. Amit used the word pioneer, right? If that gravity does not go out in that statement, it's 6 decades that we are talking about. We are pretty serious about this Indian market, specifically when it comes to states like Kerala. We have the highest literacy rate here, right? At the same time, there is also a scope of English proficiency which already exists. We are considered a test which is known for its quality. If quality means potential, that's the best mix you can give to any institute.
Yeah.
That's what TOEFL brings on your table. There's a difference between becoming the most popular test and being the most accepted test. It's something which the student has to decide. I'll not name the other test, but they are the most popular test. But when you see at their acceptance, they are accepted in only 11,000 institutes and 130 plus countries. This is not what I am saying, guys. Go and check the internet. I am claiming that I am accepted in 13,000 plus institutes and 163 countries, which makes me the most widely accepted English proficiency test. Now you choose. What do you want? You want to take the most popular or the most widely accepted, right? The other thing that I would again want to come out to is, we are fair and bias free. Now that's a difficult statement when it comes to establishing this as a fact. So I'll just ask one question to you, making you as a proxy for students. Do you think humans are 100% bias free?
I can't vouch for that.
But what if I say that there is a test which will bring best of 2 worlds together? I'll have an AI to score you. I will also have 4 individuals from across the globe, probably different countries, to rate you without knowing your name.
That should
Which
be
one will be more favorable?
I think that brings, both the worlds together, so.
That's what TOEFL brings. For the other tests, I'll not talk about it. There are various other tests who say we only do AI, because AI, we know 100 languages, we have 100 dialects, so we know your this thing, XYZ. The reality is, if you really want to be fair, it's not only about being quicker. It's not about how soon you give the results back. It's also about what is the result that comes to the student, how reliable, how standardized it is. That's what TOEFL can give to you, which no one else can give. And then there are further many questions that the student needs to explore. Do you want to go to the test center for a 3-hour test or an under 2-hour test? Do you want to go to a test center twice, or you want a one-sit test? Do you want to read 2 passages for 20 questions or 4 passages for 42 questions? Do you want to speak for 4 minutes in a speaking section, or you want to speak for a 16-minute section? Do you want to ideate and then put in? You want to write essays, which you will never write when you probably land up there for a STEM course? Or do you really want to go through the rigor of an actual academic discussion, which you will have almost daily basis when you land up on shore? I can strongly put it that TOEFL prepares you for the actual environment that you will find in that college. And if that is what you want to prepare yourself for, I think your choice should be TOEFL. What I also would want to agree is that we do not have that mind share probably today, because of our non-operations in India for almost a decade, we lost a generation. If you feel that TOEFL is unknown to you, go to a TOEFL Test Ready website, take a 40-minute sampler. It's free of cost. Know us. Come to our partners like IRS. Understand what we are. And then take an informed choice. I'm not saying take TOEFL, but I'm saying explore TOEFL before making the right decision.
All right. So I hope as students, candidates thinking of studying abroad or working abroad, TOEFL brings a very good proposition, and you're welcome to try TOEFL on yourselves, and for your training, IRS is, as always, the best partner. So it was indeed a pleasure to have both of you gentlemen, Dr. Deep and Mr. Amit.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So just to end this conversation, one last thing for the test takers. Whenever you think you would want to explore TOEFL, please feel free to come up to your IRS center close to you, and they will give you a free sampler of TOEFL, which will take 40 minutes and will also give you a diagnostic report.
Sure.
Basis which you can decide what you would want to do in the future. And this is something that IRS would be happy to do on our behalf. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.